Episode 1 of Grosse Pointe Garden Society kicks off with a creepy scene, a person digging a grave and dumping a body wrapped in a bloody blanket. Then we jump back 6 months to meet the whole Grosse Pointe Society crew. First, we meet Alice, who's busy putting up lost dog posters for her golden retriever Molly. Alice has a quirky habit of comparing people to flowers. She sees herself as a wild geranium stuck in a place where she doesn't belong, namely teaching high school English. Next up is Brett, the landscaper and garden center manager. Alice compares him to a dandelion, built to survive until life knocked him down when he caught his wife Melissa cheating. Now he's not only heartbroken but also strapped for cash, even though he's been dying to buy a vintage Bronco 68 like the one he restored for his dad. Then there's Catherine, the society's vice president. She reminds Alice of a zinnia, hardworking and adaptable when given a little sunshine. Unfortunately, her husband Tucker gives her no attention. Lastly, we meet Birdie, the new volunteer and author of Surviving Through Divorce. Birdie is like an invasive lily of the valley, wild, without boundaries, and known for stirring up trouble. Her volunteer stint is a punishment for a reckless incident involving a town fountain and her car. Then, in a sudden flash forward, we see Alice, Catherine, and Brett at the grave, shoveling dirt over that mysterious body. Back in the present, Catherine is out showing a house with her colleague Gary. It soon comes out that Gary is her secret lover, even though he's married and works for his father-in-law. Gary even buys Catherine a bracelet to make her feel special, despite her husband's indifference. We cut back to Alice at her school. A student's mom, Mrs. Hollister, confronts her about her son Peyton's D on a poem. Alice explains that Peyton plagiarized the poem from an award-winning Kendrick Lamar song, so there's no way she's changing the grade. Mrs. Hollister is very annoyed. Later, Alice receives a rejection letter from the New Yorker, her third that month. Her husband Doug encourages her to keep chasing her dream job, but his mom Patty warns that dreamers only get hurt. Patty also hates Doug's dead-end job and where they live, pressuring them to move into one of their rental properties, a proper place to start a family. Meanwhile, Birdie is at dinner with her publicist, fretting that everyone hates her. The publicist advises her to keep her head down, finish her community service, and rebuild her image, maybe by starting a college scholarship for a kid in need. At the garden center, Brett calls Alice over with some grim news. They found Molly at the park, dead from a gunshot wound. Brett comforts a heartbroken Alice, and it's clear there's more than just friendship between them. Another flash forward shows us again at the grave, this time with Birdie helping out and panicking about possibly going to jail. Alice tells her to calm down, reminding her that the garden club always has each other's backs. Amid the chaos, they debate what to do with the victim's car. Back in the present, the garden club holds a meeting. Marilyn, the president, leads a minute of silence for Molly. Alice is furious over the murder, while Birdie suggests that maybe it was a message. The meeting then shifts to planning the Winter Gala fundraiser. Catherine lays out her vision, a chic, Monaco-themed event with croupiers, roulette, and poker. Birdie, however, wants a hot rocks and frocks theme, but Catherine shuts down the idea. Annoyed, Birdie tells Catherine that she's controlling the club because she can't control her own life. After the meeting, Catherine grills Birdie about her bracelet. Birdie admits her realtor Gary gave it to her, revealing that they've been sleeping together. Catherine warns that just because you can have anything doesn't mean you should. Next, we see Brett dropping his kids off at his ex Melissa's place, where her new husband Connor is now part of the picture. Brett is ticked off when he learns that Connor will be speaking at his son's career day. He reminds Melissa that he sacrificed his dream of a car restoration business to put her through law school and take care of the kids, and they'd agreed that Brett's turn would come once Melissa had secured a job, an agreement she broke. Unsympathetically, Connor retorts that an agreement isn't a binding contract. Later, Brett and Alice join Catherine in her car as she watches Gary showing a house. They see him with a redhead, a brunette, and even an older woman. Clearly, Gary's playing the field. We flash forward 6 months again. But first, if you're enjoying this recap, please remember to subscribe to our channel. That really helps us a lot. We flash forward 6 months again. The Garden Society foursome is preparing to burn down the victim's car. As it flames up, the victim's phone rings. Birdie forgot to grab it, and Brett is upset because the police could trace it, so he tries to retrieve it. In the present, Catherine visits Birdie's house and confesses that she was upset about Gary because she was also sleeping with him and had envisioned their future together. Birdie wonders why Catherine doesn't just leave her inattentive husband, but Catherine replies that her kids keep her grounded. Birdie then muses that guys like Gary always get away with everything, and maybe they shouldn't. Meanwhile, Brett pulls over to help a guy whose car broke down. The man is impressed by Brett's fix and offers to help him out, a moment that seems to give Brett something to think about. Cut to Alice having a tense conversation with Peyton. When she calls him out for plagiarizing, he fires back that she's only giving him a bad grade because she doesn't like him. Things get heated when Peyton implies that he might have had something to do with Molly's death. Alice rushes off to the school principal, insisting that Peyton should be expelled for killing her dog, but Principal Dave shuts her down, saying Peyton's rich parents keep the school programs afloat, so there's nothing he can do. Flash forward 6 months later, we see Alice Alice and Brett trying to pull themselves together after all the grave digging and car burning. There's a moment where Alice helps Brett fix his hair, a hint that things might be getting closer between them. Later, as the foursome debates what to do with the half-burned phone, Birdie bolts off with it. Back in the present, Birdie has set up a scholarship and is meeting Ford, the kid chosen for a full ride to college. Ford is confused, thinking more accomplished students should have been picked, but Birdie explains she sees a bit of herself in him and is trying to steer him away from the same bad choices she made, like stealing an ice cream truck and getting pregnant in 10th grade. Meanwhile, Catherine confronts Gary, telling him she knows about his fling with Birdie. For a moment, it looks like Gary might convince her to let it go, and they almost get intimate, but it's all a trap to put Gary in a compromising position in front of his boss, who is also his father-in-law, and every other woman he's been involved with. Gary gets fired on the spot and kicked out of his family home, and Catherine couldn't be happier. Then we shift to Connor boring his stepson's class, going on and on about the joys of being a tax lawyer. After class, Brett shows up in that super cool car he fixed earlier, impressing the kids. Zach proudly introduces Brett as his dad, making it Brett 1, Connor 0. But the drama doesn't end there. Later, we learn that Connor hired an investigator to dig up dirt on Brett. He's planning to take the kids from him. Shortly after, Alice crashes Mrs. Hollister's hairdressing appointment to announce she's changing Peyton's grade to an F and accusing him of killing her dog. As a result, Alice is fired from her job, while Peyton watches with a triumphant look on his face. In a bookshop, a woman confronts Birdie, warning her to stay away from her son. And here's the twist. Ford, the scholarship kid, is actually Birdie's baby from when she got pregnant as a teen. Birdie claims it was her parents' decision to give him up, but Ford's adoptive parents insist there should be no contact. They want Birdie out of the picture. Cut to Catherine again. Her husband is leaving for Dubai on a business trip. Catherine is upset because he'd promised to help their son, Dakota, with his derby car. Tucker shrugs it off, saying his global security firm keeps him busy, so Catherine has to manage the rest. As Catherine puts the kids to bed, we see Gary lurking outside in his car with a gun. Fast forward another 6 months. There's another club meeting. Birdie shows up, and when her friends ask about the phone, she just tells them not to worry. Marilyn, the garden club president, announces that the Monaco Under the Stars fundraiser was the biggest success in the club's history. The plan is to use the money for a koi pond that doubles as a reflecting pool, crucial for winning next season's gardening cup. But that means they'll have to dig up their entire garden, where that body is buried. Looks like Catherine, Birdie, Brett, and Alice are in some serious hot water. And that's it for episode 1 of Grosse Pointe Garden Society. The mystery remains. Who's the dead body? Connor, Peyton, one of Birdie's son's parents, or Gary? You'll have to watch to find out. Please remember to subscribe for more recaps of another exciting new show.